Go ahead, Kev. Hit the intro. Hey, what's going on? This is the Ryan Got the Bread podcast. My name is Ryan.Fagan. I have Ty the mortgage guy here, a mortgage loan officer, obviously. And we've had a lot of conversations about non-QM mortgages. And I want to let especially you self-employed people know that now there's hope to be able to get a mortgage, because previously not so much, or at least I was given bad advice. I don't know. I didn't know about non-QM mortgages, but I'm learning about it because I'm refinancing properties into a blanket loan, and wow, non-QM world is a lot nicer, and I really appreciate it. I'll let Ty the mortgage guy introduce himself. Go ahead, Kev. Yep, there we go.
I'm Ty the mortgage guy. You know, probably see me in a couple of videos with Ryan. Ryan Got the Bread podcast.
I hate that
2 or
name.
3. You know you got the bread. 2
No,
or
I don't.
3K, 2 or 3K loans, USDA loans, VA. We did a VA video too.
We did a VA, a USDA, FHA 203K, which ranks #1 on the YouTube algorithm.
Yes. Gotta see that.
Just the bing bong.
You gotta see that. Bing bong. Come on, kid. Come on, kid.
Oh, he's late. It didn't work. It's the blue button. All right. Yeah, so the reason that Ty is here is because I have discovered this new. So, guys, I don't talk about stuff that I don't know, right? So, like, I'm entering into this new world of non-QM, which is quality mortgage. QM, that's what that stands for.
Qualified mortgage.
Qualified mortgage. You are
So-
contradicting the last podcast I had yesterday, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, so qualified mortgage, like, for instance, you know, when you go through a traditional mortgage, conventional, FHA, USDA, they qualify you on income, credit, assets, etc. The non-QM is what we're getting into. The non-QM loans.
Non-traditional things that you
Yeah.
probably haven't heard of before.
Exactly. So now they like, okay, we know you guys write off your income. We know, you don't claim it on the tax returns, you write everything off, but we know you're making money.
If you're self-employed, because
self-employed,
I think this
correct.
is important because the gig economy, like if you drive Uber, if you do Instacart, if you have your own business, if you got 8 side hustles, when you do your taxes, you're not claiming that income, or you're writing off expenses, and then when you go to buy a house, the bank's going to say you broke.
Exactly.
So you got to go an alternative route to get a mortgage, but there are some benefits. What are the benefits to a non-QM loan versus a QM loan? And just real quick, while you're thinking about that, a QM loan consists of a conventional loan, FHA, VA, USDA. Basically, all the loans you probably ever have heard of are QM loans.
Correct.
Non-QM loans are the Wild West, and mortgage companies can kind of do whatever they want, because if they're doing a QM loan, that loan has to be structured a certain way because they sell those on the secondary market.
Correct.
So essentially, like, this is a whole big thing. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds with this, but when loans are originated, they're usually sold so that the mortgage company gets the money right away, and then the people who buy the loan get the recurring payment of the loan.
Correct.
And so they have to be written in a certain way, and the details of the loan have to be a certain way so that they are purchasable.
Absolutely.
And so
By the government agency.
right, so if you
got to fit their
right by the
requirements.
government agency,
Yeah.
even if it's conventional, because it's
Freddie
still
Mac,
Freddie or Fannie Mae.
Jennie Mae, all of the above.
And so there's an industry standard for those. So when you say non-QM, that means it's not conforming to the QM, the standards. So that allows a lot of freedom for these companies to do other things. And if you are self-employed and never tried to get a mortgage, you'll know that they don't like you in QM world. Like it's very difficult. For myself, you know, I'm self-employed. I'm a realtor, and I have rental income and all kinds of stuff like that. So it's always been difficult to get a mortgage, but my solution has always been to not take write-offs and to pay the taxes. And that's what I've always told people. But now there's an alternative solution to this stuff that I think might be better. And that's why I kind of want to dive deeper into this, because I know a lot of you guys are at least have side hustles. And so like those kind of don't get recognized unless you're claiming the taxes on them. But if you're not claiming the taxes on them, here is a solution to be able to buy a house.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, and it's not only that too, right? You know what one of my favorite parts about this is buying an investment property without going through the debt-to-income ratio requirement.
Oh, my goodness.
Hit the bing, 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 bong. Come on, Cash. Bing, bong.
Cash is trash.
Yeah, I mean, Cash is trash.
All the soundboard, because...
You still feel like that, though, Ryan? Cash is trash.
Okay, well, we're going to digress here. Cash... I went back and forth. Okay, when the economy crashed, I was very concerned that... Or when COVID first happened, I thought that everything was going to crash. Yeah. Because literally, I couldn't show a house. Yeah. People were getting laid off. I had two buyers, two single moms, get laid off and not be able to buy the property, which was really bad. It was bad. You couldn't show houses. You couldn't do anything.
It got good real quick.
And then it got real good real quick. And I still wonder who's buying these houses.
And where they getting the money from?
Where are they getting the money from?
Yeah.
What was your question? I was doing
cash. It's cash.
Oh, it's cash trash. Okay, so
because I agree with you at some point, but now I'm thinking like, is it really trash right now because the stocks drop, crypto drop?
I was thinking that, so I was like, wait, cash is not trash. I even posted on Facebook, cash is no longer trash. But then I was like, okay, there's a rush to buy assets, right? Yep. And as a little guy, I say, well, if rates are still low, it's free money to borrow. So in the real estate world, if I took $1 million loan, could I make more than 3%?
Absolutely.
Well, then the cash is trash. Yeah. Why would I have cash when I can use it as a down payment?
That's a
like
good perspective.
what do I need? Okay, here's the question, right? I have multiple properties. Yeah. And I think cash will no longer be trash when it makes sense to sell it. Right? Because if I sell a fourplex I have in Texas, what would I do with the money?
Right.
See, is there a better use or a good reason for me to have that house in the form of cash, or should I have it as a cash flowing asset that is appreciating?
The way they went up on this rent, I mean,
so this is why you should never sell. Why would you?
You might want to hold on to that.
Why would I sell a property when? And this is why I say turnkey rentals are still good, because yes, it costs more, but the rent is more. So
you don't have the headache of putting all this money into it to try to get it where you need it to be.
That's where you have risk, because Kev, can you do something with the dogs?
The welcome committee.
Lock them in this room, or I'm sorry, guys. I have dogs, and they're mini poodles, and they really love to bark a whole lot. And we ordered a pizza, so that's what's going on. Oh, the people are here too. So that gives me a time to read the comments. Jasmine, what's up? Talk to us nice. Say hello. Don't just come in here ninja watching. Carla asked, and this is for Ty, do you have to put 20% down on a 203K loan?
No, that's the good thing about this. It's still an FHA loan, 3.5% down. 3.5% down. You roll all the renovation costs into the mortgage. Probably one of the best programs out there for renovation.
Do you think they're still feasible today? Like, are you still
Yeah.
writing 203K
Absolutely.
loans? Really?
I'm doing a few of them right now.
Tell me about it.
Well, you know why? There's no inventory.
Yeah,
So-
but are they competing? So my thing about that is, are those buyers successfully in winning bids against
Yes.
cash investor buyers?
You
Why?
know why? Because these investors, they have a certain margin. So think about it. Like, you're an investor.
Do they? Because I feel like these rookie investors are just paying whatever. Like
They overpaying.
Because I'm like,
Yeah.
if you're paying this much, how are you making money on this flip?
Okay, you're right. So those are out there. You can't get rid of those. What they say, the money's made when you buy.
Yeah.
Because if you buy at the right price, you can afford to make mistakes or whatever. You're still gonna make
That's
money.
why I ain't buying none, because
you
you
buy
can't make no
overpriced-
mistakes with what's on the market right now.
You see what I'm saying? But so the average 2 or 3K loan is they're walking into some equity, but it may not be enough for an investor, a real investor, to actually go in there and do it and then resell. So it's like that soft spot where
So this is what I've been saying
Yeah.
is that the total rehab is probably for the flipper,
exactly
because that's where the biggest profit is
the
from.
cosmetic, makeup, the lipstick, that's for the homeowner.
The homeowner to buy. So if it's a mid-grade, like you could maybe live in it, but it needs to get updated.
Yep.
That's for the 203K person. But my negative to that is, and this is, I never buy those kind of properties as an investor because they're kind of mid-grade. Like if I'm going to pay like semi move-in ready price, I'm kind of paying for something twice, right? Because if I'm going to knock the walls down and do all that, why would I buy the walls that I'm going to knock down? I'd rather buy the house even more jacked up.
That's the best one. When you buy that house that's just beat down bad, you make
I'm going to make it
most
look
money.
nice, yeah.
As long as it's in a good location and you buy it at the right price.
Right.
But most of the 2 or 3K buyers aren't looking at that. They're looking at the ones like, I don't like this kitchen. I want to redo this bathroom. I need new floors. And it might have 1 or 2 issues that don't pass a regular FHA loan process.
Right.
Through the appraisal. So they're like, the listing agent's like, you can't just do an FHA loan on this. You got to do either conventional or an FHA. Those are the ones that are getting the bids. They're getting the offer.
So I think the summary for that is like, if a property is like owned by some old people and it's got wallpaper in the walls and the kitchen is from 1962.
The pink tile in the bathroom.
The pink or the light teal or the yellow tile in the bathroom from the 60s or 70s. That's where you could do a FHA 203K loan.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's only 3.5% down.
Yeah.
And you get the rehab money. So
get the rehab money.
That's nice.
It's worth it. It's worth it. I think it's a good program. Till this day it is, even more so now because there's no inventory. You got a lot of buyers spilling over from 21
Goodness
that are
gracious.
out there right now. This spring is going to be even more crazy.
Do you think it's going to be
I think
worse?
it's going to be crazy. The refinances are going to drop. Rates will probably go up a little bit, but these buyers are still out there.
There are, because my buyers just want to bid. We had to do ridiculous things to get it accepted.
That's always.
But
that's
they said there were 6 offers, right? Yeah. So that means there's 5 or 6 other people who are able to buy that same $400,000 house.
And look at this, Ryan.
So they go somewhere else.
But look at this. This is January.
I know this is so he's saying that because December, January, February are the slowest quarter for real estate.
Absolutely.
And the summer, obviously, like when kids get out of school. Basically, like once school is over, that's like the biggest market. And I think it's going to be just like the last 2 years.
It's going to be. I think it's going to be. I don't know. It's going to be tough because of the inventory issue. It's rough out there. So like, there's going to be 10, 20 offers in on these houses. Soon as they hit the market, they're getting coached now to go over asking price.
Way over.
A lot of people lost out. Like, they want 250.
Oh, they learned.
I'm not giving them 250. But can we put the offer in for 240? Like, they're not. They learned the lesson. So now they see a 250 house. Yo, give them 275.
Yeah, you gotta be like at least 10. It's ridiculous. The list price doesn't even matter these days.
Nah, it doesn't.
But I want to take some shots at all these influencers who keep talking about real estate crashes. I'm tired of them.
Yeah.
They are leading people astray. There's not going to be a real estate crash. I'm sorry.
All right. I'll say this.
The bottom is higher than it was.
It is.
So even like because people are sitting on the sideline and they're waiting, right?
Yeah.
But even if prices go down and rates go up, you're in a worse position.
You're in a worse position payment wise. You're in a worse position. You're going to pay more. I think that the crash that they're talking about is the natural correction. Like the stock market just went through the correction. They went
but the Fed pump faked on y'all.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, because the stock market, and I was talking to Kevin, who's producing this right now. The stock market is the future prediction of X equity stock situation, right? So when the Fed said we're going to raise interest rates 8 times in 2022, the market crashed.
Yep.
Or not crash. It just went down a little bit.
It went down a little bit, but people panic sell.
They panic sell,
and it dropped down a lot. So technically
so that did
crash.
that did what they wanted to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And now they were like, they took the basketball, were like, oh.
Yeah.
And everybody jumped. Everybody jumped. They was like, I'm blocking the shot.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we might do it 4 times. Okay, so they're not really going to. They're not really going to do it.
So all right. So right now, stocks are on sale. Crypto's on sale.
They were for like a couple of days.
It's still on sale.
Okay, but that goes against what you're saying about it going to crash.
No, what I'm saying is the crash
that's not a crash.
This is the best crash.
You know what? This is the problem. Hold on. This is the problem with the media and influencers and all this stuff is that everybody is being really dramatic right now. Yeah. If you look at what the Dow Jones is, like if it goes down 10,000, is that really a crash? Because I mean, 2007 was like 7,500.
Yeah.
Okay, so it depends what size chart you're looking at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I think that's the wrong term.
And housing is not like and when we're talking about housing, I don't even think it's going to slow down.
No, I think it's the wrong term to use, crash. I think it's going to correct slightly to some extent. Listen, everybody can't keep buying houses and
why? Because if you, like
a lot of people,
it's not people. It's BlackRock buying single family homes. Yeah. There's businesses buying homes.
Right.
Because cash is trash, right? Yeah. So they're like
cash is trash.
Hey, they're like, so what are we gonna put our money in because inflation's bad?
Okay, but Zillow just had to sell all those houses. They said they have to sell a lot of houses
because
right now.
That was goofy.
Under what they got it for.
That was goofy.
It was.
They were being goofy. I called this out as soon as it happened. I said, there's no way Zillow's going to be able to buy houses and then sell because everything.
Is that a conflict of interest or something? Like
it is a conflict and real. You know what it is? The realtor lobby is very political and all that, and they are so scared to lose control, and they hate Zillow because if they would have it their way, the MLS would be the only way to see houses.
Only way.
They would want you to like come in the office, and then they would be like, "Okay, this is for sale," but they've lost a lot of control.
Yeah.
But the thing is, real estate is local, right? So no, it is. You can't just like use an algorithm to figure out what you should buy and sell houses for in an area. The Zestimate ain't right. The Zestimate's right in this neighborhood when there's 4 model homes that are the same.
Yeah, I agree.
You could do that.
I agree.
But you can't do that in every market where the houses are different.
You can't.
You can't do that in California.
No, you can't.
In Northern California, where my mom lives, every house is different. How you gonna value them properly with an algorithm? You can't. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Carla says, "What kind of crazy stuff did you do to get your buyer's offer accepted? Straight conflict." She says about Zillow. So let's talk about this. Thank you, Carla. So, and if you guys are listening to the podcast on Spotify or anything like that, we're actually live right now on Facebook, so I'm answering people's questions. But appraisal gaps are a big thing. I wonder what you think about appraisal gaps. So my buyer offered $30,000 over the list price, and the highest comp that I even seen was like $20K less than what the list price was. And they said, we'll pay $5K over what the house appraises for if it appraises for less. And that's how aggressive you need to be with your offer right now. I really don't even recommend that they offer that much, but the problem is that you have to go big or go home.
Mm-hmm.
And appraisals are kind of weird right now.
They are. Yo, I be getting stuff, and I be like, yo, this really appraised at that? But
I feel like the appraiser is one of two people. They're like, this crazy buying has to stop. So they're like against it. So they'll like appraise you way low. Or they will just give you whatever the contracted price is. Because the appraiser knows what the contracted price is. Mm-hmm. So they'll see 400,000 on there and then the list price of 370, and they'll just like, just give it to them. Yeah. But also before 2008, the rules for appraisers changed. So like mortgage companies, the way that it works now, and I don't really exactly know how it worked before, but I know that the mortgage company hires a appraisal hiring company.
Appraisal management company that hires the actual appraiser.
So there's like 3 steps, right? Exactly. So when Ty orders an appraisal, it actually goes to a company that finds the appraiser to order it from, so that he can't pick. Because what happens is the appraiser that gives you your price, you're going to give them all your business.
Exactly.
So they tried to take that away, but I think that still happens, because if an appraiser keeps appraising stuff low, they can like, get rid of this guy.
Get out of there.
So
it's a tough game out there. I think it's peculiar, because like how did the appraisers come out and say, hey, look, you got buyers ready to buy this house for $400,000. The comp suggests that it's $375, right? But if somebody's willing to pay $400, who am I to say that it's not worth $400?
The definition of market value is what a buyer and a seller are willing to agree upon.
That's it.
That don't know each other.
That changes the game, though, because that wasn't the case 2, 3, 4, or 5 years ago. They had to go by more technical.
Well, they still use the comps, but value is based off of, in general, what a random person buying something is willing to pay, and what a random seller is willing to pay, and they can find the value.
Yeah.
So if you have multiple offers and they're close to 400,000, the value of the house has to be 400,000.
Absolutely. But that wasn't so much the case a couple of years ago. Because you have a seller saying, look, I want $300 for this house. Buyer say, look, I'll give you $300 for it. Appraiser's like, nah, it's $250. And you know what I mean?
I had a listing like that, and that was my argument to the appraiser, is like, well, people want to buy it at this price. So
I think they're forced to do that now. They weren't forced to do that years ago.
So you think that early on the appraisals were coming in light, and now you are you not seeing them come in late?
We seen it 3-4 years ago. Think about it.
Oh, I've had plenty of appraisals come in short. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
They're not coming in short now, and they're going 30, 40,000 over asking.
And they're getting them.
And they're getting it.
I'm half retired. Like I was telling you. Like I ain't,
it's
I'm working
crazy
with
right now.
Only a couple people. I'm only working with you if I like you, if you like me, you have money, you're over 350,000. You like my personality, like the way I do things. Like if it's not like like that, if I gotta like, if they,
Bing bong.
if a client is not, I get the vibe when they don't trust you.
Yeah.
I'll be like, you should work with somebody else.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not convincing you. Like, if you don't trust me, I have a lot of experience.
It's better for everybody. Like, look, I can't right now.
Yeah, because they're stressed out.
Yeah.
If I tell them something and they got to, look, it's cool. Like, I think you should check whatever they're saying, Google it, whatever. But, like, if you start pushing back too much, I'm like, it's time for you to find somebody else. Because you don't trust me, and like, I'm ineffective. Because sometimes you just got to trust me. Like, it's gut. Like, negotiation, it's not a science.
Nope.
It's an art. Yep. The way to make a attractive offer for a property is an art. You got to see what the agent's saying. You got to see the vibe. You got to kind of, like, even how the house looks. Like, do they have boxes packed? Are they motivated to move? Is the closing date important? What's important to them?
And that comes with experience. And some people that are just starting, they can't read that experience
they don't
that you
know.
have. And so they want to question everything. But when it becomes a headache when they do it a little too much.
But I can't explain it to you. I can't explain every factor that's going through my mind and the little nuances. I'm going to be talking to you for like 6 hours to explain what's going on.
That's like trying to explain the color blue that somebody's been blind all their life.
Yeah.
No matter what you say, they don't get it because they never seen it.
Right.
And that's how it is with trying to explain this. So like me, I have to turn people down sometimes too. I want to help them, but I just don't have the time to do that. Like,
I do think that's... I think we're all troubled by this in mostly the Black community, where a lot of us are wanting to, like, a lot of us got in this to be an example, to help people that normally don't have access. Disenfranchised from the system, all that kind of stuff. But, man, y'all make it hard. And after you've been in it for a while, you be like, like, I still see Facebook posts talking about, is renting better than owning? I'm like, oh God, I can't.
You know why?
I can't convince you. Yes.
You know why though? Because you got some of these celebrity podcast guys. They go in there, the influencers. Well, you know, they're billionaires. Why buy a house? Buying a house isn't an asset. It's a liability because you got to pay taxes, insurance, and upkeep and maintenance. Don't buy, just rent. Now you got the average person listening to this, like, yo, this guy said I should rent. I shouldn't buy.
They don't see the nuance.
You're not a billionaire. If you're a billionaire, you can go around the world and rent properties, but you're not. You need something to offset for your taxes. You need something to build equity. You need something.
And also, they're not an investor. Like, the regular person isn't thinking. This is the key difference, right? Like, if you're a hardcore entrepreneur, you're starting a business, you're like investing your money, you have a good use for your cash and your money. It might not make sense to buy.
Exactly.
Because you have, like, I built a podcast studio. So instead of buying a rental property, I did this, right? But if I'm just a regular person, my house is going to pay me. I'm paying down the equity of the house. The value of it's going up. I don't have to be so sophisticated. I don't have to be in the real estate market. I don't have to do that. And I have something that's going up in value. And that's the thing that these influencers and rich billionaires don't understand or don't know about the regular person, is like, they're not doing all that. Like, they're not looking at that, you know, down payment and being like, oh, I can invest in Uber before it's Uber. You know, you know, they don't have that.
Yeah, they don't. It's tough.
So that's why home ownership is important. What's up, Dave? You got to come on the podcast too. Man, we got way away from non-QM loans.
We definitely did.
So let's circle back around to it.
Non-QM loans. All right. So non-QM loans consist of bank statement programs. Bank statement programs meaning we don't look at, you know, your tax returns. You know, the typical entrepreneur, self-employed, we need 2 years tax returns. They do a 24 rolling month average on your income. We don't do that with bank statements. We look at what deposits you make, because that's your true income, the true money you're bringing in regardless of what expenses you're claiming to avoid paying taxes, you know, that's what we look at. So they take a certain percentage of that, and we go, and then that's your debt to income. So that's a huge program because most business owners have a lot of expenses. Why not write them off? But it's
and
only
you could kind of write off extra stuff, you know,
Yeah.
like depreciate. Well, actually, they add depreciation.
they add
back in,
depreciation
but
back in, but that's why, because it's not an
It's
expense.
not an expense, yeah.
But a lot of it, you got a lot of expenses when you own a business these days. You know what I'm saying? So
Here's a question that
Yeah.
I have, and that people have
Mhm.
is like, because people have a lot of money,
yeah,
and they'll be like, yo, I have like half the money to buy the house, cash.
Yeah.
Do you get credit for that? Like, is there some kind of program? Like, if I have a lot of assets or a lot of money,
Absolutely.
like,
Okay.
because a QM loan, they don't care. You
Don't
can,
care.
you can have like
you can have $2 million. If you make $20,000 a year, you get qualified off that $20,000 a year. So
Right.
all right, so that brings me to my other point. All right,
Mhm.
so asset based lending.
Mm.
All mortgages right now, qualifying mortgages, are income based lending. Asset based lending is exactly that. So let's say if you have $1 million cash or in an account, retirement, liquid, insurance, anything that's liquid, they'll use a certain percent. I think it's like 6%. Don't quote me on this. There's a few different ways they do it. They calculate that and then do it as a monthly income. So basically, if you have this sitting, we'll use part of that, a percentage of that, as a monthly income. If you qualify on the mortgage based on that, you're good regardless of what you make, your income. So asset-based lending and bank statement, that's two different programs. But that's good for people who are heavy in assets, no income.
Could you buy can you buy a small multifamily for that? Like if it's 4 units or
Absolutely.
less, you could do that. I'm not like, you don't have $1 million though. So
Yeah.
I don't know. What if the asset just makes more than what the mortgage is? Could you use a non-QM loan for that as a regular person?
Hold on, so
you
you're
think?
saying that the assets,
Okay, I'm buying a fourplex.
okay.
3 of the units
Mhm.
cover the rent, covers the debt service,
Okay.
and or 4 units cover the debt service,
Mm-hmm.
so they cover the mortgage payment.
Yeah.
Can I just buy that without qualifying my own personal
Okay,
assets?
so that's a different program than the asset-based lending. That's the debt servicing. It's called a DSR,
Mm-hmm.
debt servicing ratio. All right, so we already know about the debt to income ratio.
Right.
That's what all qualified mortgages go by. Non-QM goes by DSR, debt servicing ratio, which means is we don't care what you make outside of this property. We don't care what other debt you got on credit. You got car loans, student loans. We don't care about that.
Mhm.
This property is what we care about. This is the collateral. So if your expenses on this, taxes, insurance, mortgage, your principal and interest, everything is $1,000, we want you to at least get $1,250 rent. So $1,250. So you have to have 1.25%.
That's it.
That's it. And you can get a loan, 20% down, and that's it.
All these products though,
Mhm.
20% down or more.
20% down or more. That's their way to mitigate the risk. They're
Right,
taking a
because
chance.
I mean,
Yeah.
because now there's equity in the property.
Exactly. So they're like, okay, go ahead. You can, we don't care if you default. We got the property back. So they don't care about your income. They just care about, you're making enough from this property to pay this debt off. We're good with that.
And
That's huge. Now that's up to a 4-unit.
oh, so they do that 4 units or less.
Yes.
Because I feel
Yes.
like it's easier to buy 5 units and more because those qualify for like
But
more
DSR
commercial.
actually goes to commercial. So
Right.
it's still 5
So-
units.
so
But
it's
the
all
program I'm
DSR.
talking about it specifically is 1 to 4, but you can do a commercial. Now it's no
So
longer
you could
residential.
so it could be anything.
Yeah, but hold on. But 1 to 4 is residential.
Right.
Anything
right,
over
right.
4 is
Yeah.
naturally commercial.
Right.
So 5
But you
and
can
up.
still do the same concept
Absolutely.
on that.
DSR. DSR is what commercial uses. They don't use that to income.
So guys, like that's the thing. Like if I mean, I know a lot of people aren't sitting around with 20% down for like a multifamily property, but
Mhm.
like I know a lot of people who don't want a house hack, right? They don't want to do the FHA and buy a duplex or a 4-unit property in New Jersey because you gotta you gotta pay $300,000. The taxes are crazy, and the property is not even in a good situation. Yo, dogs, stop it.
Get at me, dog.
But it as an alternative, which house hacking is the best way to get started. Yes, I gotta say, like absolutely. FHA loan, duplex, triplex, fourplex.
This is the Burr method.
Well, Burr, you would renovate the property. House hacking, you just would live in the property and collect the rent from it. Like if I buy a duplex and I get the rent from the other side, so now my payment, they might pay the whole payment or a large portion of the payment.
Gotcha.
So it's a lot cheaper way cheaper than renting.
Gotcha.
Even buying a house is cheaper than renting now. No,
it's hard to confuse a lot. Yo, it's a lot of people that's renting out there that look at me crazy when I'm like, you should just buy. I'm not ready to buy yet. I don't know.
What if the water heater breaks?
Yo,
shut up.
It's crazy and I try my hardest trying to explain to them, like, look, you're looking at the wrong things.
Wrong things.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. It's everybody around them. Yo, you got to get out of these bubbles, yo. These bubbles are horrible. Yeah. And unfortunately, in our community, it's real toxic with these bubbles. Like, what if the water heater breaks? What are you going to do?
I might need a new roof. Well, listen, if you brought 2 years ago, right? I got people that I helped buy 2 years ago. They got $100,000 in equity.
Regular person.
What's
their income when they bought the house?
$40,000,
right.
$50,000 a year.
$100,000. Just
$100,000.
That's wealth.
That's wealth.
People don't understand
That's
wealth.
Now
you might not touch it, but it's wealth.
No. They're going to touch it. Listen, this is what they're doing now.
Okay, go ahead.
They're coming to me now. Ty, look, I want to refinance. I want to pull some cash out. I want to start this business. Now they don't have to go to the bank. They got the money sitting there. They qualify. Now they start this business. I'm just telling you, like, that's
it's power. It's more than money. This is like, people think I'm so money-based, but it's like, you have that equity. You can do things, man. Like, you could send your kids to college if you want to do that. College is kind of suspicious as far as a return on investment. But if you want to do that, you can do that. Like that, $100,000. And when I worked in appraisals, I remember seeing crazy numbers. Like, I would see somebody buy like a property in North Philly, and they bought it for like $40,000. And then, like, when they're going to sell it, they're selling the property for like $500,000. And they're not some freaking business genius.
Nah.
They just were like, oh, I'm going to buy this property and, see what happens,
Listen,
and I'm like, that's life-changing.
What happened?
That $100,000 is life-changing.
Absolutely. Listen, it's hard to really explain, but, this is the biggest, like, transfer of wealth that we've seen in a long time.
Well, that's a big problem.
That's been happening in the last couple years. Like, it's been crazy for not only just real estate, but we're talking everything. Like,
I call it everything. The difference between the owners and the non-owners.
That's a good way
if
to
you
look at
own things, you are getting richer very fast.
Absolutely.
And if you don't own things, it's getting harder to own things to get richer.
You know what's crazy? You said that because that makes me look at these NFT markets different. People are like, what is an NFT? Why do you make money? Because of ownership. You own this digital non-fungible token. That's what it's called, right? Non-fungible token. You own it. Somebody else can trade, do whatever, but you own it. You get royalties. You get everything. It's about ownership now. Business, ownership. It's about ownership.
It's funny because the NFT thing is interesting because it actually helps the creators because you can put the resale tax on things, right? Because if I'm a great artist, like all these great artists didn't actually get the money from selling these things, right? Like they became famous after. Yeah. So like if I have like a Picasso, like when Picasso sold his picture or whatever he painted, he sold it for nothing. And now I own it, and I sell it for $10 million. And he don't get nothing. But with NFTs, they get a percentage of it.
But see,
cool.
now everybody gets to share in it. And it's not even just the art, like music. Like, yo, what they say? Tory Lanez made like 10 million, like 10 minutes.
But here's my issue with the NFTs is like, because cash is trash again.
Yeah.
There's like organizations and rich people are all getting together and they're buying this stuff speculatively.
Yeah.
And they're just like, let's take a shot at it. And they're inflating. Like, some of this stuff has no value. Like,
listen,
do you really care about this ape shit?
We did this years ago, Ryan. When we talked about Bitcoin. He's like,
no, I didn't say that about Bitcoin.
No, you did. You said where's the value at? Nobody's using it. I wish I would have took that approach and said, let me just buy it. It's speculative when it was 5,000.
I think that this is I want to say it's a gold. I want to say it's a gold rush where very few people find gold and it's actually real. Like, mad people are chasing something.
Yeah.
But only so many would win. The other idea of thinking about it is like the internet or .coms.
Yeah.
Because when .coms got hot, there was a .com bubble. Where people were investing in anything that said .com with no underlying value to it.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean that obviously the internet was the future. But you have to have the winners. Amazon's a winner. Google's a winner. Apple's a winner.
Everything was a winner 20 years ago.
No, not everything. Well, no, there was 1 million .coms and only some of them won and some of them went to zero. And so you have to be very careful. The same thing with this metaverse, which links to the NFTs, is like, there can't be 8 different metaverses. Just, okay, like, here's an example. Here's an example, right? How many GPS apps for navigation do you use?
Waze, Google.
There's winners. You're not going to use Jim Bob's navigation.
I look at it like this, though. It's more so platforms like, all right, for instance, social media. Some people like Facebook over Twitter.
But there's only so many.
Instagram over Twitter. Some people like Snapchat. Some people like TikTok.
Right. But there's only so many platforms that are relevant.
Just 5.
Okay. But when you look at cryptocurrency and NFTs, there's 1 trillion of them.
There is. You're right.
5 of them are going to be not worth zero. That's my thing.
You think only 5?
Why would you? How many cryptos do you need?
No, because some of them have functions in the blockchain that are just more than just a currency.
Yeah,
so Bitcoin is
Ethereum does that. Ethereum has smart contracts. Okay. So why do I need?
All right, this is why.
This other stuff.
When you look at it, all right. So what they say, Bitcoin is the gold.
Right. Bitcoin is actually not very usable.
No, it's not. But just like gold, you can't walk in somewhere and buy a car with a block of gold. You can't be like,
you can't. Huh? Right. Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't take a bar of gold and say, hey, look, I got this bar of gold. I want to buy this Bentley. And I'm like, listen, man, go sell that. Come back. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't want the bar of gold.
So it's not really, you know what I mean? The dollar's not based on gold anymore. So you got gold, you got silver, you got bronze, but then you got copper. And you got like palladium. Then you got other men. So this is the same thing in the digital world.
Let me stop you. Gold, platinum, all that stuff have a value, a use aside from the economic or store of value use.
That's my point.
So I can use gold to build things. I can wear gold as jewelry.
That's my point.
Okay, so go ahead, keep going.
So I'm like when I see, okay, everybody, I know you're gonna get a kick out of this.
Oh boy,
here we go, Dogecoin.
Oh no, I'm triggered.
We're gonna talk Dogecoin right now because I know you be shooting this down. But when you got Elon Musk saying, "Yo, look, I'm ready to start." Elon,
hit the green button, Kev. Hit the green button.
You can't make this shit up, Pete.
You can't make it up. He's a beast. He said, "Listen, I'm gonna let y'all start buying Teslas with Dogecoin." You know what that does?
He's just trolling.
You think he's trolling?
He's just
I don't
trolling.
think he is.
He's just trolling.
I don't
guys.
think he is. I
He's
think
petty.
he's trolling to an extent.
He's trolling.
He's petty, but he means it to a certain extent. To
Why?
a certain extent.
Why does it matter?
Huh? It matters if you own Dogecoin right now and it's valueless, and if he does decide to use this as a currency to buy, not even him, if somebody else decides. This is where the intrinsic value comes from.
This is my point, is that there's only so many winners and losers. We don't want 8 different currencies. When you go to different countries, it's already a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
We want one thing that works.
Yep.
So I don't think that this fractured idea of all these different things is going to be it. I do think the currency within... Okay, so I play League of Legends. I'm a nerd. It's the biggest esport in the world.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd. All right,
let's
not get into this. It's the whole thing. I'll talk about it at some point.
What is it? All
right. You can buy skins and things like that in the game, and there's a currency.
Like Fortnite.
Right, like Fortnite. Every game has a currency.
Okay.
So those might exist, okay?
That's what we're talking about.
Okay, but I don't think, aside from that, we don't want to be in 8 metaverses. Like Ready Player One, right? There's one metaverse.
There's one metaverse. Got you.
Where everything matters.
Okay.
I don't want to invest in 8 metaverses because 7 of them are worthless.
Yeah.
It's just like if you play like online, like role-playing games online, right?
Yeah.
Like if no one logs into them anymore.
GTA. That's a prime example. GTA.
It's only relevant if other people are in it.
Right. I agree.
Once people stop going in it, all your stuff that you paid money for is worthless. Like FIFA Ultimate Team, which many people probably in America don't know, but it's basically like a trading card game, but you play with the players, right? So you can open packs and they cost real money, and you can trade them and sell them on the, and there's a market because as players do better and worse in real life, their stats change.
So it's like a fantasy,
it's like fantasy football, except for you play with them in the game.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, and so there's rare cards. So it'll be the same player. It'll be Ronaldo, but it'll be like Team of the Week number 14, and you can only get it in that week. And he has better stats than the regular Ronaldo, so he might be like an 85 rating, and the Team of the Week one is a 90 rating. So if you play a team and he's got the special one, you be like, oh shoot, that's crazy. But every year, you don't get to carry him over, right? So I kind of think of like the metaverse as like permanently owning the things. But if my shit don't carry over, I'm not investing in it. You know, that's the problem with Ultimate Team. Is like I had a team worth millions of coins, which in real life I probably could have sold it for lots of money. 1 year because I was like because you could like trade the players like a stock market, like certain players would go up and down in value, and you like I was so into it that I didn't even play the game. I just would buy and sell players because the market was interesting.
That's what they're doing with NFTs right now. They're just buying and selling.
It's an NFT. Like if I own the Ronaldo version, it's an NFT, and so like. I think that's the thing. But what I'm saying is it's only relevant if other people think it's relevant, which means they all have to be on the platform, which means only so many platforms are going to win because we're not going to be on different platforms. We're going to be on.
I don't think that. So when I look at crypto, right, I don't see them as all different platforms. I see them as applications on the bigger platforms. Like a lot of these smaller cryptos and tokens and ICOs that come out, they're operating on the Ethereum
That's why I'm big on Ethereum,
That's
because I think that's the winner.
So Ethereum is definitely the winner. It's more applicable to daily usage. The gas fees, the transfer.
But that's the problem. The gas is ridiculous.
But right
man.
now
Like,
it is. The gas fees are right now. Yeah. But I'm just saying, eventually, Ethereum is the one. I believe Ethereum is the one.
Unless
but a lot of these smaller ones.
I think the risk is that one of the smaller ones is a better, more efficient version of Ethereum. So I think that could happen.
It's like what do you use when you go to, somewhere where you use coins? You go to laundromat, you're going to have quarters. You know what I mean? The quarters are useful.
Right.
So you might not, $100 bill might not be the same. And it's like, you still got to get quarters. That's what I'm saying. The only difference is that. But that doesn't change the fact that these small applications, they have their place in this blockchain. Mm-hmm. We're not talking crypto. We're talking blockchain. Right. All these have a place in the blockchain.
That's interesting.
The blockchain is going to be, and it goes back to the metaverse. There might be different verses. We're going to see them in social media, different platforms. We might be in this metaverse for gaming. We might be in this one because it's a virtual set. It's got to be something crazy about it when Walmart's getting it, when Nike's getting it, when these companies are getting in it, and they're getting in one here, one there. There's something going on here. It might be beyond our understanding because we're talking 10, 20 years.
Yeah, we don't. That's my fear is like people are just buying things because it says NFT. Yeah, that's dumb. Don't do that.
That's speculation. That's speculation.
Just like the underlying technology and like how it works is definitely the future.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean Jim Bob's NFT that he made is worth
$100,000. Somebody said, what about Shiba?
Oh Lord, that's the same bullshit. Stop it. Where did they say that?
Shiba. No.
Oh God. Thank you. Don't listen to what he's saying.
Everybody says that until you made money. I made money.
No, that's
Shiba.
the word. I hate
that. I hate that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easy to say, "Oh, she was not going nowhere." When you make a couple $1,000, you're like, I don't know, man. It might. Listen.
Bro, you're just gambling. That's like going to the craps table and be like, yo, you should play craps for your job.
So everything's a gamble.
Just because not everything.
Everything's a gamble. Tesla could crash tomorrow.
Okay, Tesla
could crash tomorrow.
Hold on. Everyone who's an RGB podcast fan, do not listen to this man right now. This is not good advice. I hate what he's saying.
Is everything at risk? A relationship is a risk.
Everything.
Your job is a risk.
Okay, but just like COVID, there's a percentage risk to the things that you decide to do. Okay?
There's a high percentage risk.
Your relationship is a risk.
Everything you do in life right now is a risk. It's a risk.
But you should weigh the risk instead of just taking. And it's not. You shouldn't just be like, well. It's a risk. It's like, what is the risk?
What is the risk? The risk-reward ratio.
Like, if I buy a rental property, I know exactly what I'm going to get.
You sure?
If your
tenant tears it up?
Yeah.
If your tenant tears your property up, and they were only paying $1,200 a month, and now you got to put 15 to 20 grand in there to fix it up.
I have insurance.
Time. Effort, the energy, I'm just saying it's always a risk. Come on.
I was saying
this, Ryan. You know it's always a risk. I don't care.
Hold on, this guy. on the last podcast, I was talking about that. The more properties you have, the less risk because they cover each other.
Exactly. That's
yes, if you get your first property and they destroy the property, you are gonna have a difficult time.
Okay.
But
the chances of that are unlikely. I'm just saying.
There's insurance.
Yeah.
So that helps. But generally, buying a turnkey rental is a very stable investment. Buying Shiba Inu or whatever bullshit is not. That is not a good idea.
I'm not trying to compare the same. I'm just
because here's the thing. Here, Todd, let me put you on the spot. What percentage of your wealth do you put into these speculative assets? Not a lot, because you can't.
You're right. 1 to 5%.
But how much?
I'll take the risk.
Okay, but how much do you have in real estate?
A lot more.
Exactly. And this is my problem. I'm like, well, if you have $100,000, are you going to put $100,000 in a sheep?
Nah, I'm not.
Stop it.
But I'm saying.
Are you going to put it in crypto in general? I think that's risky.
Okay, but this is the problem. Hold on. This is right here. This is what I'm trying to talk about, right? Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
let's go back 10, 15 years ago. I thought that buying Amazon or Google, Nvidia, or I thought they were risky. But when you look at what's going on, I wouldn't have invested a lot of money into it. But in hindsight, I'm like, man, some of this stuff that we just can't see happening. People invested in some of these stocks, and they're multimillionaires right now just from 20, 30, 40,000. So
I hate the logic that you're using.
I'm just saying, I
hate it a lot.
Why?
Because
it's happening.
Because you're banking on luck. Okay. There's a way to invest where building your wealth is inevitable. Like, if you continue along this path for long enough, you will get to where you want to get to.
5 to 10% annually, just increasing over and over.
With all this stuff, fun stuff that all these trends, you can get way beyond where you even dreamed of getting, or you can get in a ditch. And why roll the dice on that?
You know why?
Here's the other thing. Get a stable situation and then start siphoning the money to the bullshit if you want to gamble.
I'm on the fence though, Ryan. You know why? Because I hear a lot of these stories.
You're thirsty.
I watch. No, it's not just me. It's just, me. I'm more calculated. I take a risk. But hold on. This is the thing. When you start hearing these situations,
where the media, it's lies.
Where this kid brought,
God.
They stayed on there and they studied NFTs and they brought 5 of them and they made $900,000 in 6 months. It makes you consider what risk that you want to take. What risk do you want to take? You
Not that risk.
You don't. So you want to just see. You're in a different position.
That might be it.
So that's
I was going to say that.
You can't do that. I
You're
know
right.
you, Ryan. You're in a different position. There's some people that might say, "Look, you want to get ahead in life. You got to take some kind of risk." I'm not telling you to jump out the window.
You know what, though?
I'm telling you got to take in a position where you don't have to do that right now.
That's right. So that's right. Ty's calling me out on that. I'm semi-retired.
Yeah, you retired. How old are you, Ryan?
I'm 34.
And you're retired. See,
we can't. I don't have to work. I wake up in the morning
the same way.
Oh, but hold on. My 20-year-old self, right?
Mm-hmm.
My dollars were worth more at the time, right? Because when I put $1 in something, that was $1 I couldn't invest, or if I invested it, now it has resulted in where we're at and my lifestyle that I'm able to live now. Okay. I think the question is, it's speed. Do I risk not ever getting to where I'm trying to get to, or do I risk getting there when I'm 34? Because if I get Bitcoin, if I had bought Bitcoin when I was 25, when it first came out,
with 2011,
right? I just graduated college. I got out the Army, 2010.
And somebody was calling me when I was working on mortgages, like, "Yo, you got to buy this internet money Bitcoin." I was like, "Man, I don't have time for this. I'm too busy." And it was like 50 cents.
Right.
And I just, but when you think back, it's like, okay, I would have put $1,000 in it. To me, that was a risk. I could have lost 1,000, but who cares? I would have lost it. I'd rather lose 1,000 on something speculative.
Yeah, but then you'll put 1,000 in anything.
You see what I mean?
That's speculative, though.
But that's my point.
And that 1,000 hurts you a lot when you don't have a lot.
It only takes one time. If you don't have a lot.
Now I have 1,000, but
right.
when I was 20, 1,000 was a lot. So that's kind of the way I see it. Is like I could go the inevitable route where it's like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because I think about that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be a millionaire
Yeah.
if I, like, you know, in like 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a millionaire.
Absolutely.
Without doing
Without doing
anything
anything.
crazy.
But
if I chase it, I don't know what's going to happen.
yeah.
I might be a 10 millionaire, or I might fumble.
Right.
Why risk the fumble?
So
Why?
my thing is, like, when you talk about these giants, Elon Musk and all them, they risk it all. And I don't think it's about money. It's about them trying to get somewhere. See, I see what you're saying.
But they risked it on themselves.
But that's my point.
You're risking it on some bullshit.
Nah.
You're risking it on whoever the
I'm
fuck
not
made
talking about.
Shiba
You're talking
Inu.
about Shiba. I'm not talking about Shiba anymore.
Well, what are
I'm
we
talking about taking a risk. Taking a risk, regardless. Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes you have to take a risk, regardless of what you deem as risky, whatever it is. At some point, it's important to get ahead.
I agree with, like, I think that I'm kind of doing that with this studio. The studio costs
This is
what?
not so much a risk to you.
It is.
Because this is what you do.
No, but I don't make money I haven't, like, what's the ROI on the studio? It's 25 grand in. I could have probably bought a property.
Yeah.
I don't know what the ROI here is. I have no clue.
Yeah.
My YouTube channel makes $100 a month. I don't know what am I going to grow it?
Yes.
I know what
you are,
I look at the
Ryan.
big.
I know you. This is risky to you, but this is also a planned, calculated risk that you're not jumping out there. You're not rolling the dice on this.
But this is my Shiba Inu.
No.
What do you mean? Like, I don't know what, like, I don't know what's going to happen with this. I don't know.
We never know. We don't know what's going to happen in the market. Let's talk about that. We don't know what's going to happen in real estate going forward.
Yeah, but the thing is, people need a place to live, and the rent ain't going nowhere.
I know, right?
That's what I'm saying is, like, why am I doing all this stuff when, like, I just buy a property? People might need to rent it,
right?
You know, and when I buy them in Texas, I have a property management company, Armadillo Property. Shout out to them.
So let me
I don't do nothing. They send me email, I respond.
That's
Please
they
proceed.
handle everything. So let me ask you this: if that's the case, why not Airbnb right now?
Because that takes time.
Yeah, it's risky.
I want to be really lazy. I don't want to think about any of these things.
Yeah.
But to be real, right? I guess we're gonna get a little deep here.
We have been. We've been getting deep for a while. Yeah.
Well, we've been talking some bullshit with the NFTs. I have this dream about my lifestyle. My grandfather came to all my games, practices. Like, he was a big impact on my life, right? And I think I'm thinking about family, kids, future, and the way, and even when I was like young and started investing, my goal was to be able to have my time so I could
buy your time back so you can do what you want to do.
I want to go to my kids' games. I want to see them walk. I want to do all that. I don't want to ask my boss if I can have a day off so I can do something important in my family's life.
Yeah.
So, like, that's where I guess my risk aversion comes from too, is like, why wouldn't I just buy my time back?
Buy your time back.
You know?
That's so important right now.
And so when you say Airbnb, I don't want to get distracted with, like, I'm interested in it. Do they do Airbnb?
Property management.
They do Airbnb? Property management. So I would do that.
Absolutely.
But again, my thing is time. I think about time before anything else. Like, any commitment, how much time, like, I think I said this on the last podcast. I'd rather get $500 a month passive than like $2,000 a month. If I had to do shit.
Yeah, you're right. Because you brought your time back. So it's passive income.
I agree. I don't want no time obligations to myself.
Yeah. But that's why we invest in real estate.
This is the crazy, and this is how rich people get really rich, right? Mm-hmm. They are free to spend time on things that really can hit, right? Like this project.
Mm-hmm.
If I was working a job, I was tired. I wouldn't be able to put effort into this.
Yeah.
And this has a potential of doing really big things.
Gotcha.
You know, but if I was working, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Right.
I'm
But you
going to
put
come
time
home for
into
work
it.
6 o'clock,
Yeah.
set up the pot. Like, there wouldn't be no time.
Exactly.
So now I can go on offense rather than defense, where I got to pay my bills. I got to be worried about that kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah.
So my brother on here.
He's on
my
here?
brother's- This is my brother from another. He's on here saying that there was an episode that talks about Airbnb, and the guy doesn't even visit his Airbnbs anymore. Property management. I've heard this. I talked to 2 property managers. Not only Airbnb, but what's that? VRBO,
I don't know that
vacation rent by owners.
Mm-hmm.
You never been on VRBO? I be going to
You be
Miami.
out in the
I be in
Miami.
the
I'm
streets.
an
I
out
be in
the
the
country
streets.
guy. I don't do the
Oh.
Miami yet.
Man, Miami's. I'm licensed in Florida. That's why I go.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
going there / business /
Okay.
you know what I mean? I go down there. I party a little bit.
Yeah,
but I
you
go
do.
down there to network because
Okay.
Miami's where the money at.
Yeah, a
Don't
lot
get
of
twisted,
money
there's
over there.
Money in my so when I look at these VRBOs, these weekly rentals, and the people don't be there. They got their own cleaning company, their own management. They handle payment. You can own this property and literally never have to go there, never have to touch anything, deal with people or anything, and you can live in that property a couple months of the year for free, and it's paid for. So that's the only reason why I brought it up to you.
You know what's wrong? I'm getting old, man. I'm like,
listen, I'm
no, but I'm getting like,
old.
I'm acting old where like I know what works for me and I just want to do that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? This
yeah.
works. Let me just keep
Stick with
repeating
that.
this.
Yeah.
It's that's what I'm saying. I'm going to be a millionaire
Yeah.
in like 2 years if I just keep doing this.
But consistency, that's important.
If I do some shit that I realize there's unlimited nuance to things like flipping houses.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of stuff flipping a house that I would not know no matter how much I read about it. Do I really want to take on a new thing and fuck it up and then learn it? You know, like.
Let's talk about that though. Hold on. Let's talk. You just made a good point. So you didn't really know about it until you actually started doing it.
There's no way to know.
You
like,
can't
I
teach
hate
that.
people
You can't
that
teach
want to take classes. Just do it, man.
But
like,
you took a risk.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So let's go back to what we were talking
All
about.
right, that's why I say I'm getting old. Now I'm like,
But you're not taking as much risk.
because I was dumb though. I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
I just boldly went into it.
I did.
I could have lost my shirt.
I did the same thing.
I bought a rental property. I didn't know how to. I was reading Bigger Pockets. I was in Iraq.
I remember Bigger Pockets. I was in there.
I was in Iraq reading Bigger Pockets every day. My dream was to buy a property.
Yeah.
When I got out the mill, when I got sent back to the States, sent me to Fort Hood, Texas.
Yeah.
I contacted a real estate agent like the first week and said, I want to buy a multifamily property. It wasn't called house hacking at the time.
Back then,
I wanted to use my VA loan. I knew how to calculate the mortgage, and I knew, hey, the mortgage is this and the rent is this.
Yeah.
Seems like I'm going to make money. I should do that. That's all I knew. I didn't know nothing else.
That's all you needed to know. But see, you had an advantage. Like, so even right now, right?
I bought the property in 2010.
That's huge.
Right? So
That's
it's
huge.
cheap. Or 2009, 2010.
Man,
it was mad cheap.
a whole different market than what it is right now.
This is the thing. I didn't know what I was doing, but because of the conditions of the market, I did well.
So you know what's crazy right now? The VA. Let's talk about that real quick. VA increased their loan limits.
What is it now?
It's crazy. So I'm
I remember.
I'm doing one right now, right? I'm doing one right now. 1.2 million.
Oh, really?
VA, North Jersey. No money out of pocket. You have to have at least a 680 credit score or more to do 1.2 million on a single family.
You could do that now? I'm gonna buy a multifamily like that.
And, you know what I'm saying?
And I may or may not live in it.
Hit it, Kev. Hit it, Kev. Something.
I didn't say that.
No, all right.
I intend to occupy the property.
Yeah, all right, there we go. There we go. So no, what I'm saying is, you know how powerful that is?
Yeah.
That right now in this crazy market, VA, and mind you, the person I'm dealing with, the veteran, they're 100%. No taxes. In an area in North Jersey where the taxes on this property is probably like $15,000-$20,000 a year.
Oh, you save a lot. I know. I'm wasting my. I'm 100%.
You're 100%.
I'm 100%.
But you don't want to switch it over to.
No, it's here. It's on this one.
Oh, well, why are you wasting? What do you
I
mean
need to buy a bigger thing. Do I need to buy a $1.6 million property with 0% down? I guess I should.
This is yeah.
If it cash flows,
absolutely.
I should do that.
Absolutely.
Well, Ty, let's do it.
We're gonna have to talk about that.
Well, this is a VA loan on this property that we're in.
But you know how you are with the refi.
I can refi. Well, I'm waiting for you to do my refi.
But not on this one.
Oh, I can't refi my personal residence.
Yes, you can. Well, not in that.
Not on the blanket.
Not on the blanket. But we'll talk. We'll talk. But
there we go.
It's important to know that VA, that's huge right there. That how they just up there. And Fannie, they up theirs. Theirs is up. The loan limits. FHA's following suit.
Yeah, they had to because the housing prices went crazy.
You know what? That tells me that they're not going to go down. When they start,
which is what I said.
You're right. When they start upping that, these prices aren't going down.
They're not.
They're not.
All right, so it's pretty late. We've been going for a while. It's 9 o'clock. You said you had to go.
I did.
I'm gonna end it, but Ty, the mortgage guy, do you have anything else for everybody?
Listen, if y'all want to talk about non-QM loans, any loans in general, any kind of mortgage questions, let's talk. Me and Ryan, we talk about everything under the sun. So, we're going to do this again soon. And, reach out to me, Ty the Mortgage Guy, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah, I'm around. We'll talk.
Okay. That's the Ryan Got the Bread podcast.
Ryan got the bread.
Thanks, guys. Hit the records.